Hello guys, so this is my first video after the lockdown which I'm shooting. So just wanted to talk about the BS6 RR310 and the BS4. So before we proceed, here are a few battle scars that I have on my bike, and these are a few as well. So this is worn out because of the foot peg scraping the ground on the track, and I had more damage here which I kind of fixed with this. It's a bit dirty, but then again I have to clean the bike up anyway. So a few mods that I'm doing, I'm getting rear set extenders here, and I have dropped the forks by 18 mm. That is the max possible for this handlebar. My bike has run 10,500 kilometers in 2 years and a few months. Everything seems to be fine and nothing has failed, nothing has been changed. So let's talk about the BS6 RR310. What all are the changes? So a couple of changes that you can immediately notice are the tires. I have changed to Metzeler's M5s, H rated. They are just about okay, better than the Michelin's, but they are just decent enough and they are nothing groundbreaking. But the BS6 actually comes with Michelin Road 5's W rated, so they are brilliant. I have used those tires on the track and I can vouch for it. For this segment of motorcycles, they are one of the best tires available, because the compounds that you see on the tire are direct lift from the superbikes, and that tire was not previously available for this size. That's 110/70/17 and 150/60/17. It is actually because of the RR310 that they had to introduce it into the Indian market, as this is the only motorcycle in the world in the BS6 avatar which comes with those tires from the factory, and those are the first differences that you can immediately see. They are W rated, as I mentioned earlier. The sides are super soft, the centers are a bit hard, softer than these, but harder in comparison to the sides. The sides are almost like slicks. They have amazing water wading capacity and capabilities, and you can immediately notice the difference once you ride the motorcycle. Once you lean over, there is absolutely no looking back. First of all, the chassis suspension combo is amazing on this motorcycle, and they have literally killed it with the Michelin Road 5s. I'm dying to get them on my bike installed, but then again these tires are new and they have not been used much, so it will take a while for me to switch to those. But my next options that I will definitely change to are Michelin Road 5s. The visor has changed in the newer BS6 motorcycle. So here it's a bit different. Sorry, my visor it's very dirty, and I have these are not scratches, but these are like the adhesive from the film that I had, so I have to remove them. It's a bit messed up here as well. So now you have the visors with the screws here. You can directly remove them with an Allen key easily, and then replace it with the if you have aftermarket bubble visors, this visor works absolutely fine. They are really, the motorcycle is very aerodynamic. It has a coefficient of drag of around 0.24, which is best in class anyway. But if you want an even better aero performance, you can probably get for a bigger visor on the BS6, which is easily swappable. The switch gears are different, right? The switch gear is it's completely different from what we have here. These are the BMW direct lift, but the BS6 has their own design. Those are called the cubes, and they actually help you interact with the new TFT screen that you see. So that's a 5-inch color LCD TFT. It's good, decent enough, I don't think anything in the class comes close to that quality. You can go check it out yourself, then you can come and probably comment on the video. But yeah, that's about it. So these are the visual changes that you can immediately notice. The color scheme, the red remains, but then again they have added the titanium black color, which is the mixture of red, grey and black. So that looks absolutely amazing. It looks outstanding, to be honest, and the red looks kind of meh in front of that, which is supposed to be the signature color of this motorcycle. But I think we have to move ahead with times and leave these things behind. And red still comes in though, but it does not look as appealing as the grey and the black does. You should really have a look, and you can definitely feel how the new motorcycle, how nice it actually looks, and it actually accentuates the designs as well, the design lines. So that's a plus point again. Coming to the mirrors are the same, handlebars, everything else is the same. The fork at the front, they are recalibrated. So let me just confirm one thing. You can put those fork seals. They have changed the damping a bit. So I have got those fork seals. You have to pay, and for a price, TVS is going to change it for you. It's not free of cost, because why would it be, right? It's not an update that the motorcycle got. It's a new generation of motorcycle, the RR310 BS6, and that's the reason why you get the updated fork seals. And I have got those done, and it actually works. I always felt the front was little too soft. When you brake, the damping was not that great. It was great enough, but for my liking, I would have liked it a bit more stiffer, and they have worked on it. I gave my feedback, they worked on it, and now it's fixed. So you can actually feel the front end, when you brake, it's not completely diving in. It has that rebound effect, so that's good. So that's something that TVS had to fix, and they did. And coming to the switch gears, again, with those switch gears you can change those riding modes, which are absolutely amazing, and first in class in India, not in the world, because the CBR 250 RR also does get them. What they do, it actually changes the power delivery, throttle mapping, the whole ABS calibration changes as well. So there are 4 modes basically. One is the rain mode, urban mode, sport mode and track mode. So in the rain mode you can immediately feel the ABS kicking in, and with those Road 5 tyres, which are supposedly meant for wet conditions, the bike becomes an absolute legend in the wet. You should really ride and see how much of a difference this bike actually is makes as in comparison with the BS4. And the rain mode actually limits the power to 25.8 PS, and the torque also drops to 25 Newton meter, but at a very lower RPM range. And it also helps the motorcycle run cooler and gives you more mileage as well, because in the rain you don't really require the max power, that's of 34 bhp, because in the rain you are just going to spin the wheels no matter which tire you actually get. And same thing is with the urban mode as well. In the urban mode the power is limited to 25.8 PS, same with the torque, around 25 Newton meters or 27, I'm not very sure how much it was, so we just looked that up. I'm not very keen with the exact numbers, but it limits them, and you can actually feel the difference immediately when you change the modes. But in the urban mode what happens is the ABS intervention is much lesser than what you have in the rain mode. So these are the things you should be looking out for. The sport mode, the console layout changes, right? The console layout changes for all the modes, but in the sport mode, when you come back from say urban or rain mode, you can immediately see the difference, because the whole instrument cluster, like this one is arranged, it becomes vertically mounted, so everything comes in this vertical order. So in that mode you get full power, but with some amount of ABS intervention, because that's called sport, right? It's not for the track. When you go to the track mode, that is also similar to the sport mode. The power delivery becomes more peaky, and the ABS calibration also changes completely, in which the ABS hardly kicks in. For a person who rides the motorcycles occasionally, and even for people who ride on the track frequently, like say many of them do, my friends, even I do, it's really beautifully calibrated, and you can actually feel it once you ride the motorcycle in the track mode as compared to the sports or the other modes available. And yeah, and the few changes that you can't really see is they have changed the piston, they have put in a lighter piston, they have changed the head, they have changed the camshaft, if I'm not wrong, and you know, they have eliminated that clatter noise that we have on the Gen 1s like we have. So that's something TVS took very seriously and fixed. It was not an issue for me anyway, but few people did not like it, because few people thought the engine was kind of more noisy than it should have been. So they fixed that. It sounds so much nicer now. And also the new BS6 motorcycles rev higher than the BS4 motorcycle somehow. So the new electronics, they help not only in those power modes, but also with those with the RPM. For us, for example, the fourth gear does around 126 to 127 kilometers per hour max at the limiter, but the BS6 does 133 kilometers per hour at the limiter. Same with the fifth gear. The BS4 does around 143, 144, 145 kilometers at the limiter per hour at the limiter, but the BS6 does 153 to 154 kilometers per hour at the limiter in fifth gear. Coming to the sixth, my personal motorcycle has done 174. So if you take the average, the newer one is at least 6 to 7 kilometers per hour faster in the top speed range. So I'm assuming it should do around 180, 181 on the speedo. But then again, for that you will have to duck, you have to be light, and you know, you shouldn't have the headwind against you, because that is going to ruin the whole aerodynamics and you can't really achieve the top speed. And coming to the noise, vibration and harshness levels, they have worked on the tolerances apparently, and they have made it even better. The tolerances are even lesser now. So what does that help in? That helps in lesser vibrations as claimed by TVS. And what about these? These handle dampeners are the same. The bar and weights are the same. Mounts are the same by what I have seen. And yet the bike feels a tiny bit smoother. It's not something like a day or night, because the generation 1 also is pretty good with NVH. It was just a few people who spread this wrong information saying this bike vibrates a lot. I have people come up to me personally and say like, hey dude, in your previous videos you said that they don't vibrate, and they really don't. We don't know what the fuss is about, but then again, few people had to do all those things to get more views on their channels, and they did, and that's their choice. The BS6 bikes on the other hand gains around 4.7 kilos weight. So that is not because of the exhaust change and all that, that's because of the heavier tires, the new clusters, the new electronic package, the new switch gears. They also add up weight, because these are these are also bigger in the newer BS6. You get the electronic throttle body on the BS6, and yeah, few things here and there they do make a change, and they all are up to 4.7 kilos, but I don't think, and as far as I know, the exhaust remains the same. And what else remains on the bike? I think that is pretty much it. So if you like the video, do share and subscribe, and do comment on your views on the new BS6 RR310. I'm sorry I did not show you much of my motorcycle, because you would have seen it already at many places. So thank you for watching. You people have a wonderful day and stay safe. Stay as far away as possible from corona. Cheers.